As the sun sets over the rolling hills of the countryside, we find ourselves immersed in the topic of storytelling. Explored by none other than Caleb Bates, in this essay, Mr. Bates delves into the age-old debate of whether audio or written stories are superior. With eloquence and insight, he examines the advantages and disadvantages of both methods, ultimately arguing in the favor of audio versions, drawing from Thomas King's lecture on the art of storytelling. Mr. Bates highlights the importance of captivating your audience and the impact of different methods of storytelling on emotional value and information absorption. So sit back, relax, and let Mr. Bates take you on a journey through the world of storytelling.
When it comes to experiencing stories, there are two main ways to do it: by reading a written version or by listening to its audio counterpart. Both methods have their pros and cons, and it depends on the personal preference which one is better for you. In this essay, I will explore the advantages and disadvantages of both listening to the audio version of a story and the written version. As well as this, I argue why audio versions of stories are better than the written counterparts. Let's take a look at the pros and cons of listening to the audio version of a story. One of the major advantages is the convenience factor. You can listen to an audiobook while doing other things, such as driving, exercising, or doing chores. What's more, some people find it easier to follow along with the story when it's fixed to them, and the voice actors or narrators can add a layer of emotion and personality to the characters. However, one major disadvantage of audiobooks is that they can be more expensive than their written counterparts. And if you're not a fan of the narrator's voice or reading style, it can detract from the overall experience. On the other hand, let's examine the pros and cons of reading the written version of a story. One of the main advantages of reading is that you can go at your own pace, and you have the ability to highlight, take notes, or go back and reread passages if needed. Reading also allows you to create your own mental image of the character and settings, which some people find to be more immersive. However, a disadvantage of reading is that it requires your full attention and can be difficult to multitask while doing so. Even more than that, reading can be more time-consuming and physically tiring than listening to an audiobook. Despite the advantages and disadvantages of both methods, I believe that audio versions of stories are better than the written counterparts. Not only are they more convenient, but they also provide a more immersive experience due to the added layer of personality that comes from the narrator's voice acting. Audiobooks also make it easier to find stories in a communal setting, such as on a road trip or during a book club meeting. Additionally, with the rise of podcasts and audio dramas, there are more and more creative and engaging ways to experience stories through audio. Through Thomas King's lecture, I believe that my understanding of the topic regarding how stories are told has been enhanced. However, if I had to read the contents of King's presentation on how stories are told rather than hearing it through a lecture, I believe I would have interpreted the information differently. Had I read the lecture instead of listening to it, I don't believe I would have gained any emotional value or absorbed the information as well as I did originally. Thomas King's lecture taught me some valuable lessons in regards to captivating the audience and telling a good story. As Mr. King said, "You'll never believe what happened" is always a great way to start a story. This introduction strategy will intrigue the audience and keep them wanting to hear about what happened. This, along with the use of powerful words that invoke emotion, are great for making the story you're trying to tell connect with your audience. In conclusion, whether you prefer to experience stories through audio or written versions ultimately depends on your personal preference. Both methods have their pros and cons, but I believe audio versions provide a more convenient and immersive experience. The addition of voice actors and narrators can bring characters to life and make stories more engaging, and the ability to listen while multitasking makes it a popular choice for many. Through Thomas King's lecture, we can see the importance of captivating your audience and telling a good story, and how different methods of storytelling can affect the emotional value and absorption of information. Ultimately, the way we consume stories is constantly evolving, and it's important to stay open to new methods and experiences.